Hello and welcome. You're watching today's headlines with me, Karan Thapar. I'm going to take you through all of today's top stories, minus the hype and without any of the noise. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has hogged maximum airtime on news television screens today, thanks to his much-hyped address to school children across the country. The idea of schools being asked to telecast Modi's Teachers' Day address this year may have sparked much debate, but people familiar with his style of working say that he's been doing exactly this every September 5th for several years now. Nevertheless, his address today saw the opposition going into yet another tizzy. We'll bring you that, but first, a few excerpts from the Prime Minister's address to teachers and students this year.
देश के सभी शिक्षकों को मैं प्रणाम करता हूं, शुभकामनाएं देता हूं.
Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister, transformed into Narendra Modi, the headmaster on Teachers' Day.
कोई स्कूल ऐसी न हो कि जहां बालिकाओं के लिए अलग टॉयलेट ना हो. आज कई स्कूल ऐसी हैं जहां बालिकाओं के लिए टॉयलेट नहीं है. कुछ स्कूल ऐसी हैं जहां बालक के लिए भी नहीं, बालिका के लिए भी नहीं है. मुझे हर स्कूल से मदद चाहिए. एक माहौल बनना चाहिए. परिस्थितियां किसी को भी नहीं रोकती.
He addressed children directly, talking their language.
आप लोगों को वो आदत है कि नहीं पता नहीं, हर काम गूगल गुरु करता है. कोई भी सवाल है गूगल गुरु के पास चले जाओ. इंफॉर्मेशन तो मिल जाती है, ज्ञान नहीं मिलता. अच्छा, आप में से कितने बालक हैं जिनको दिन में 4 बार भरपूर पसीना निकलता है शरीर में से?
It was a charm offensive on future voters of epic proportions. The students caught a glimpse of Modi, the friendly uncle, the school principal, the technology buff and the prankster.
कोई बालक हो सकता है कि ऐसा जो शरारत न करता हो. मैं भी शरारत करता था. मैं एक बता दूं कैसी. लोग शादी में खड़े होते हैं तो कोई भी 2 लोग खड़े हैं, कोई लेडी एंड जेंट्स, तो उनके पीछे कपड़े पकड़ के स्टेपलर लगा देते हैं. फिर भाग जाते थे. आप कल्पना कर सकते हो क्या होता होगा वहां.
Through his speech, he imparted life lessons to students, from cleanliness to reading to not growing up too fast. He inspired the students to serve the country while asking them to dream big. Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi clearly donned the role of a mentor for students on Teachers' Day. The bid was to reach out to the next generation and share his vision for India. While schools in large parts rushed to implement the centre's diktat, many others had to fight against all odds to implement the order. It's a poignant tale of 2 types of schools, one privileged, the other lacking even basic amenities like benches, toilets and power supply. Headlines Today brings you this reality check from across the country.
कोई डिस्क्रिमिनेशन नहीं होना चाहिए स्टूडेंट में. उसकी एबिलिटी के आधार पर कोई डिस्क्रिमिनेशन नहीं हो सकता. मैं मानता हूं हमारे देश के नौजवानों में, इन बालकों में वो सामर्थ्य.
The Prime Minister preached equality in his Teachers' Day address, but the disparity in standards of school in the country could not be more glaring.
Today, it's my proud privilege to speak few words on our former president, Dr.
At this government school in the capital, students were seated in the science laboratory under a leaking roof. And as they sat cramped together, listening to the Prime Minister, the power went off.
The electricity ran out as soon as these students were getting interested in listening to their Prime Minister speak. As you're seeing on your screens, students have turned out in large numbers for this occasion. While the Prime Minister was discussing the fact that unlike the case in the past when the teacher was the most respected, these days not too many people want to come forward and join the profession.
After having waited the entire day to listen to the Prime Minister, these students' Teachers' Day ended in disappointment.
हमें बड़ा दुख हो रहा है कि हम आधी स्पीच छोड़ रहे हैं बीच में. मोदी सर की हमें पूरा प्रोग्राम देखना चाहिए था, लेकिन अब बिजली चली गई तो हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते.
लाइट गई तो बहुत बुरा लगा. उनके अब कोई भी बात है अब वैसे अब लाइट आएगी तो हम जरूर अच्छी सब बातों को सुनेंगे.
On the other end of the spectrum, there were schools that made sure that students wouldn't have any complaints about staying back to listen to the Prime Minister. After having sat through Narendra Modi's 90-minute address, these kids were left spellbound and inspired.
He said that there are less of teachers, so I would also like to become a teacher as I could have educated a lot. He also said something that dream about doing something and not dreamable about becoming something. As he said, we should do a lot of physical exercise, and whatever we do, we need to push it.
Loud round of applause. You deserve it.
It was an address to the future voters of India, the future that depends on inclusive growth and development. With the hopes of young India riding on him, the onus is now on the Prime Minister to bridge the gap. With Jugal Purohit and Simi Pasha in Delhi, Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
While the Prime Minister faced students across the country, his party seemed to be facing a very different kind of situation in the national capital. It became a day of action-packed drama after reports surfaced that Lieutenant Governor Najib Jung may invite the BJP to form the government in Delhi. Now, will the BJP make an attempt to form the government even though it does not have the numbers? The Aam Aadmi Party and Congress are already up in arms against this move. Here's the day's drama encapsulated in 3 minutes.
Delhi's political circles are abuzz with frantic activity. The race to gobble up the new Delhi Sarkar in its last lap. And it all began with the Lieutenant Governor's final show of hand. In his recommendation to the President, the Lieutenant Governor favoured an invitation to the BJP in Delhi. The BJP nodded in agreement, rushing into a huddle first with a meeting of its state unit. Within the next half hour, its Delhi in charge Nitin Gadkari met the Home Minister. The party did nothing to hide its desperation for the Lieutenant Governor's invitation.
The BJP is not completely united over forming the next government. A section of party still feels that going to polls is the best option, as allegations of horse trading would hurt the prospect of states going to poll. Arun Jaitley, Harshvardhan and Sushma Swaraj wants fresh polls. But the state BJP unit and Nitin Gadkari feels that after the drubbing received in Uttarakhand and Bihar, too much experimentation will be very dangerous for the party. There are also some murmurs that the Modi magic, which worked wonderfully in the national scenario, might not work in Delhi again.
But while the BJP went into an overdrive of meetings, the Aam Aadmi Party sulked loudly.
The Aam Aadmi Party has devised a strategy to counter the BJP in Delhi. Their first move will be to scuttle the invite by appealing to the President. If the BJP does get an invite and are asked for a floor test, the party will disrupt the proceedings if any of the MLA from the Aam Aadmi Party or the Congress are found to be missing.
The Congress, meanwhile, was the first to bleed amid the latest episode of the Delhi wrangle. Dr. Vinod Kumar Monga, the congressman who took on Harshvardhan and lost in December, deserted the party, even as its spin doctors put up a brave face.
The initiative of the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, Najib Jung, has stirred a political hornet's nest in the capital. But as a full-blown face-off plays itself out, all eyes are on the BJP's big two as to what exactly they'll do before September 9th, when the date is set in the Supreme Court. In Delhi, Ashar Khan for Headlines Today.
Irrespective of the day's drama and all the political posturing, the question is, will Delhi finally get a new government after 7 months of Lieutenant Governor's rule? What are the options before the central government? One thing is for sure, irrespective of what position or leaders take, ultimately it's Mr. Modi's word which will prevail. Till then, the chessboard is open for all posturing.
Kejriwal had his change, and it now seems it is Team Modi's turn. Najib Jung has rolled the dice. The Game of Thrones for Delhi has heated up once again. This is how the Delhi Assembly looks like after the Aam Aadmi Party left and Modi arrived at 7 RCR. It's trend down to 67 with 3 BJP men moving to Parliament, but with BJP still being the single largest party. And then the others are no longer singing the AAP tune.
For now, the BJP has kept its opponents guessing, squirming, crying foul. The file has moved, the MHA is agreeable, and the cabinet nod could come well by tonight. Then the president will put his stamp of approval latest by Monday. And given that the president is bound by the government's advice, it's clear that Narendra Modi holds the final cards. So how will Amit Shah and Narendra Modi play this one?
All eyes are now on how the BJP will respond should an offer come to it. Once again, the numbers hold the key. The BJP is 3 short of the magic mark, even with its ally the Akali Dal and the 2 other in support. Scenario 1 is at least 12 or more AAP MLAs defecting. Scenario 2 is Congress MLAs jumping ship, at least 3 to avoid the anti-defection law. Scenario 3 is abstention. If 5 or more opposition MLAs give the floor test a miss, if the BJP were to take it, then BJP will sail through with effective strength of the House falling. But the last scenario is LG calling for a secret ballot for the Assembly to pick the new Chief Minister in case of a secret conscious vote. The anti-defection law would just not apply. Apart from the Supreme Court deadline, there is another factor at play. Modi Sarkar wants to avoid elections along with Haryana and Maharashtra. With the Election Commission yet to announce the dates, the BJP is trying to avoid polls around October-November in Delhi. But can it buy time? And will its final gambit revive the Aam Aadmi Party in the city? The final act is just begun. With Kamaljeet Sandhu and Ankit Tyagi in Delhi, Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
The Guestgate scandal involving CBI Chief Ranjit Sinha is only getting murkier by the day. Each new explosive revelation about the CBI director's visitor's diary only amplifies the onus on Sinha. The man in the eye of the storm, however, is now hitting back, alleging perjury and demanding an FIR against Prashant Bhushan's NGO for making deliberately false statements.
The Guestgate scandal gets deeper and more explosive, amplifying the onus on CBI Chief Ranjit Sinha. After Headlines Today's relentless coverage unearths the laundry list of questionable high-profile guests that Sinha has played host to at his official residence, comes a prominent addition. Here is another entry we have discovered in the CBI Director's visitor diary. The name of Satish Chandra Mishra, the powerful right-hand man of BSP Chief and former UP Chief Minister Mayawati. Now, what business would Mishra have with the CBI Chief, given that one of the Bureau's most high-profile cases is the disproportionate assets case against Mayawati? The visitor diary also shows that Sinha hosted Devendra Darda, son of Congress MP Vijay Darda, and accused in coal scam, another of the CBI's big cases.
Things have heated up so much for Sinha that the cornered CBI chief has now hit back by filing a case of perjury at the Supreme Court against Kamini Jaiswal, who is a lawyer but also a member of the Centre for Public Interest Litigation, the NGO represented by Prashant Bhushan in this case. Sinha alleges that they made false statements in an affidavit that they filed in the 2G case, where the allegations were made against him for interfering in the Aircel Maxis deal.
The Supreme Court wants all documents in the form of an affidavit by Monday, the next date of hearing. Significantly, should more skeletons be expected from this exploding closet? Bureau Report, Headlines Today.